Hi, everybody. Okay, so this is my first live stream here on YouTube. I'm getting used to it, so bear with me. I'm sure there was a lag in the start because I'm a bit of a tech spaz, but I'm getting there. I just want to just jump on real quick and just say hello to everybody. Happy Friday. I have been struggling with some serious health challenges over the last month and a half. So those of you who are in my private Facebook group, you have been so wonderful and so supportive. And I thank you so much for all the encouragement and just the get well letters and everything. I am slowly getting back up to speed and feeling almost back to myself, which is fantastic because I am normally just like bouncy and energetic and doing lots of stuff. And that has not been the case lately. Maybe you guys have experienced some of those things too. And it's a little harder as an autistic woman, and I also have ADHD, to add that layer of health issues on. It makes it like it's a whole nother level of difficulty and stress and challenges. But I think I've done a pretty decent job of addressing those and sort of taking the opportunity of being in bed and not really being able to do the things like I normally do. If you are subscribed to the Mind Your Autistic Brain podcast that I host every Wednesday, you know that I haven't published an interview in the last 2 weeks. Well, I wasn't feeling well, so I didn't get to record them like I normally do. And I had stockpiled several, so it was easy to kind of keep going for a little bit. I have got some amazing interviews set up. Today, I interviewed Charlene Smith of Adult Autistics with ADHD, and that will be airing on the podcast for Mind Your Autistic Brain next Wednesday. You do not want to miss this. She shares so many tools and resources. The apps that she shares are incredible. I mean, I have looked at them. I'm like, I cannot believe I have lived without this so long. And she is just a delight. And she is so wonderful and shares her resources as a late identified adult autistic woman with ADHD. And hey, that's me. That might be you too. We are getting ready to move into week 10 of the 12-week challenge, which has really kind of drawn out and been way longer than 12 weeks since I've been out of commission here for a little bit. But we are diving back in and we're going to pick back up with that next Friday here on the YouTube channel. It's Social And week 10, we're talking about feedback. And you're like, well, what the heck do I care about feedback? Why do I even want to watch this? As an autistic person, feedback's pretty scary. And if you are in the world and you're in the working world, feedback is a really big part of employment. It is a huge part of what employers do, managers do to help create more effective job performance. And as an autistic person, man, feedback can be a total minefield if you don't know how to go about it, what to expect from it, and how to address it from your end in both receiving and giving. Because it's a two-way street. And there's a lot of things that go into it and some really interesting things that I have found that research has given us. And wow, I have put together some really fantastic little nuggets of information to share with you guys about feedback, giving and receiving from an autistic perspective. And I'm not only going to talk about it as it applies to how you go into the world in the working world, but also in your personal relationships. So, you know, you've always got that friend that asks you, well, what do you think about this? Or your spouse says, well, what are your thoughts on this? And you're kind of like, I don't know that I want to tell you. Or you could be like me in my former life before I knew any different. I would give them the whole cold, hard truth. And there's a way to do it. And there's a way not to do it. I have definitely experienced the way not to do it. So I want to share with you guys a really great, effective set of tools to help you do it in a way that's going to help deepen those relationships, foster deeper communication, and help you. Because really, that's what everything is about on this channel. Social is all about helping you. I started this journey as a late identified autistic at the age of 39, and I did so much of it on my own because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know that I should be going out and looking for somebody else who was autistic, who was ahead of me on the journey. And so I struggled for years just figuring everything out on my own. The whole purpose of Social Audie, this channel, the Facebook group, the podcast, the blog, everything, it's so you guys are never alone. You're not alone on this journey, and I want you to know that. You don't have to do this by yourself, and you don't have to try and find all the resources and everything on your own. I'm here collecting all of these resources and going out and finding other autistic people who have a different voice and a different perspective than mine, because I'm just one person. And I might not connect with you in the way that you're needing right now and meet you right where you are. This other person might. So I'm making sure I bring all those people together to share with you here. I also have an amazing interview coming up with ASD Career Pathways. We're talking next week to set up our interview for Mind Your Autistic Brain podcast. We're going to be talking all about career planning and employment as an autistic person out in the world, because that's a really big struggle and a challenge for us. I mean, yeah, I've had lots of jobs, but I don't keep them very long, and I get burned out because I tend to be a workaholic. So all of those things are something that we have to consider that maybe other people don't. So join me here in Social Audie, and make sure to go check your listening platform for the Mind Your Autistic Brain podcast with Social Audie. And I'm on all the major platforms, so you should be able to find me on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Beanpod, I think, and there's lots of others. You can always check out the link on my website, socialaudie.com, and find your preferred listening platform. Send any questions that you might have about careers. ASD Career Pathways is going to be answering questions like, how do we go about asking for the interview questions in advance? How do we do it in a way that is going to be beneficial to us and is not going to be harmful to us? And that we ask in a way that's going to really serve us best, and more. So make sure you drop your questions down in the comments below so that I can get them answered. And you guys can get the answers that you need and the answers that you want about employment. Have a great Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. And I can't wait to get back to visiting with everybody. Talk to you soon.